Hi, I'm Latch with Studio Watchwolf in Tokyo. This is a video about tabletop gaming and how to beat board game bullies. Now, this has been something of an interest of mine for about 15 years now, after a boy sadly took his life in a game shop where I was working. I've always been concerned about bullying, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it and about the pros and cons of this method, but let's just dive straight in and talk about how to deal with these people. I'm calling it the 3 strikes and you're out method. The idea is that somebody does something you don't like, you raise your concern. If they do it again, you raise your concern again and refer back to the earlier exchange. And if they do it again, then you're out. And here's the point. You're out. You leave. You leave the table. It's the only sanction you have. Let's give an example. Somebody rolls the dice, it's obviously cocked on the edge of the board, it's not a clean roll, but it's really good for them, and they take it, and you don't like it. So immediately say so, be polite, be direct, and what you're looking for is a good faith exchange. Just say, hey, I'm not happy with that. Can we find some way of dealing with it? Be really open. And what you're hoping they'll say is something like, oh, sorry, how would you like us to deal with that? You say something like, can we have all the dice lying flat when they're finished, please? If it's not flat, can we re-roll it? You might haggle, and you're hoping to end up with some sort of good faith agreement about how to manage your dice rolls in this example. But perhaps they don't. Perhaps they just say, no, it was all right, and carry on. That's a tell right there. So when it happens again, you call it out again. You say, hey, sorry, I'm not happy with that dice roll. Let's have a fair game. Again, you're trying to be open, you're trying to invite this good faith exchange. Maybe they'll engage with you in good faith, or maybe they won't. But if they won't, that's it, you're down to the line. The next time it happens, don't argue, don't make a fuss, don't try and offer any further good faith exchanges. Just get up and leave. 3 strikes, and you're out. You're an equal part of the game. And if you want a good faith game, and good faith gaming, and fair, and fairness, that's perfectly reasonable. Now, in talking this through with friends, the idea was originally proposed by my friend Hayden, who plays at a group where they play very intensely, but they're also very hostile, and there's an awful lot of bullshit and hustling and sometimes outright cheating. And interestingly, he's perfectly happy to play with them. And he said that he'd come up with this because he realised it was the only sanction that he had. He couldn't stop these people hustling and cheating, but he could take himself out of the game. He said, well, what they want is to hustle you and cheat you and win the game. And if you're not in the game, they can't beat you. I found I was persuaded by this. Now another guy I know, and again I really like, also plays at that club. And he said he thought that was a bad idea because what you were doing was spoiling the game for all the other people at the table. And I don't agree with him. I think it behoves everybody to agree what sort of a game they want. And if people want a hustling, cheating game, as that guy is perfectly happy to have, then that's the group that should be playing together. If one or other of the players doesn't want a cheating, hustling game, then they need to get out of that game and find a play group that's suitable for them. I think Hayden's right and Steve's wrong. I like them both and I enjoy playing games with them both, but I think that board games are really characterised by a group discovery, a group adventure, a group playing together and creating the game in harmony. And if some people want to cheat and bullshit and hustle, that's a different group to a group that want a fair game. I hope that was interesting. Join me again next week when we will be at Tokyo Game Market showing the very best of independent game designers. There'll be about 20,000 visitors. It'll be absolutely huge. Join us again for that. It should be a really good day. Bye-bye.